Okay, this is going to be a forest EDC video. Things that I carry when I'm in the woods. I live in the forest here in Sweden, and this is generally what I will have with me at any one time. If it's not on my person, it's close at hand, it's in my truck. I don't carry this around, this stuff, when I'm traveling for work as a rider, but I do carry this when I'm chopping down trees, when I'm harvesting firewood, when I'm stacking, when I'm burning, whatever I'm doing. So this is it. This is a small Maxpedition pack. It contains everything that I want with me as a kind of bare minimum. I don't have to think about it, and I use this stuff quite regularly. If I'm using a chainsaw, if I'm using a big silky saw, I will have a tourniquet with me. This is a rat's tourniquet. These things are fantastic. You need to train with them, you need to make sure you know how to use them, but in case of a sudden massive loss of blood, in case you hit your leg or you hit your arm, you need a rat's tourniquet. Do not cheap out and get a generic tourniquet, get a proper one. This is not a combat tourniquet, which are better in combat. This is a rat's tourniquet, which I think are fantastic for everyday use. You can wear it as a belt, and these are great also for dogs. If you're working with a dog or you have a dog nearby, these are great for dogs and for kids. Yep, so I always have that with me. I always have iPro with me. I don't think I have it here, but I always have iPro, and this is some like eye drops, saline to wash out an eye. Good to have. This is a little 6-in-1 charging cable, universal charging cable, which is great. You can charge your phone, you can charge your torch, your flashlight, whatever you need to charge. This is in charge. They are fantastic. They're small, and it's all you ever need in terms of adapters. I'll have a proper head torch with me, but this is a little EDC flashlight. You screw it in to get the weak. I don't know how many lumens that is, but it's not many, but it's enough to read a map or to check something, and then you get the kind of turbo mode when you need it. It's tiny. It's very, very useful. I have a tiny pen in case I need to write something. It's useful to have. If I'm working on like building stuff, I'll have a pencil, but I have that. I have this tiny little Swiss Army knife. I didn't particularly want a camo one, but that was the cheapest available. It's got a little blade, little nail file, which is also a screwdriver. It's got a pair of Victorinox scissors, which are so good. And I use them a lot. I use them way more than I thought I would, because I always have a Mora knife, a fixed blade Mora knife that I use, every day. But this is really useful, and it's got a toothpick, and it's got a tweezers, which are pretty good if you get a tick in the forest, which happens. This is a little button compass. Don't tend to use this, but I love having it, because just in case GPS goes down or your phone's not working and you're in a remote area, it's great to have if you know how to use it. Here is a little adjustable wrench. It's called the Nipex. It's actually fantastic, and you can get a surprising amount of torque on this thing if you need to loosen something. This is a water filter. It's not a Sawyer Mini, it's not a live straw, but it's the same concept as a live straw. I have to order these from the US. There's the drinking end, and it doesn't do thousands and thousands of liters or gallons. It just does enough to get you through a couple of days if you were stranded somewhere and you need to drink out of a stream or a river. This is fantastic to have. This is a flat 5,000 milliampere hour power bank with the iPhone adapter built in. These are really great. As much as I don't like phones being part of my forest gear, they just are. Over here, another eye drop. I got a pen with a band around it. I've got a glue stick. I use this with a lighter. The lighter's in my pocket, it's not here, but I use this with a lighter. I have a lighter with Gorilla Tape wrapped around it, and then I'll use this if I need super glue. I just use the lighter, burn the end of this thing, and stick whatever I need to together. This is the Exotac. This will throw a spark. It's very reliable. I love Exotac. And inside it has this tinder, which works great. So as well as having a big lighter with Gorilla Tape around it, I'll have one of these as a backup. Means I can always get heat, I can always get fire if I need it. Exotac make great stuff. Over here I've got some little zip ties. These are always useful. I have a bunch of big ones in the truck as well. But these for small fixes are great. This is tinder with some duct tape around it. A little bit more tinder, just because if you've ever tried lighting a fire out in the woods when it's wet and snowy like it often is this far north in Scandinavia, you realize that, yeah, you can find fat wood. You know, if you find a pine tree, you can find fat wood. Yeah, you can harvest dry birch bark, but having some tinder is worth its weight in gold. This is a Smith & Wesson universal handcuff key. Now, I've never needed to use this, and I doubt I ever will, but it's small and I have it just in case. Who knows? This is fishing lures. Tiny little fishing kit. Again, I've never needed to use this. It's got a little chem light in there. I've never needed to use this. I doubt I will ever need to use this, but it's tiny and why not have it? I've got a little bit of sugar there for when I want to make a cup of coffee. And this thing is a whistle. It's also a ferro rod, which is useful. Again, it's kind of redundancy, having a few different ways to make fire. That's useful if you break your ankle and you're out in the forest and your phone doesn't work. Pretty basic. This is just a spork, which I've used these so many times. Normally when I'm traveling, I'll pull out a spork and it will just be great because I've got nothing to eat with. Over here I have, what do I have here? I have clear poncho, tiny little thing, just a little bit of shelter. I've got some electrolytes that I tend to use if I'm out working long days, especially in the summer, you're sweating a lot. Replacing electrolytes is a good idea. This is a tiny little thing that I have in every pocket of every jacket I own. It's just an alcohol prep pad. It's a bit of cash. It's a couple of wound closures. It's a needle and thread. It's some water purification tablets, some pain relief. Just the basics to get you through in a pickle. Have I got anything else in here? I've got aspirin or Nurofen, a little bit of extra pain relief, and that is what I have on my person when I'm out in the woods. In addition, like I said, to having whatever's in my truck or whatever's in my tractor, and also whatever is on my person, which is usually a Mora knife. It can be one of these on my belt, a watch, a flashlight, a head torch, and all the other stuff. And if I'm doing something serious, then the right helmet, visor, gloves, boots, trousers. I don't think it's worth skimping on that stuff if you're working alone in a remote place with a motorized chainsaw or even a big silky. That is my forest EDC. It's pretty compact. It can fit in a pocket. That's it.